Is it? Ladies and gentlemen of RLPC, welcome back to our second match. Can they not hear us?
Oh, that was such a good. I was doing so well too.
They can't hear us. They can't hear. Okay, they can hear us now. Okay, they can hear us now. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen of RLPC, welcome back to our second match, the Admirals versus the Wildcats. I am Revy. I'm joined with Skirky. How are you doing, Skirky?
I'm doing great. And would you like to repeat what you just said off stream since you were muted?
I'm sorry, Skirky. You were right with the last series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were right. 4-1.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got the Wolverines one with the Renegades semifinals. I predicted 4-3. You get this one. That's how it works.
I'm getting so many ats from all the boys in the server right now. I feel I'm just so sexy. I know.
Yeah. That's Skirky says.
And I'm smart because I get all predictions correct. So
yep.
it's a win-win for significant others.
Yep. Okay. So how are you doing right now, Skirky?
I'm over the moon. You know, Poulter's always right. As you said yourself just about 3 seconds ago. So I'm excited to get another one right now for the independent finals.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about this match, right, between the Wildcats and Admirals.
I mean, the Admirals only have 3 players at the moment, so they are a little bit behind in that sense. They have a Zero Jonik Invis Python, who don't get me wrong, are all 3 players, but at the end of the day, they are 3 players. They don't have a 4th, so there's no really option to switch out things mid game. And they are coming into the finals with a regular season score or series record of 9-9, which I believe is the lowest. They were the 4th seed coming into their own bracket, and they got out of it. So good for them. They made it this far, but I do believe they're going to get shut down tonight.
To be fair, they did have some pretty good upsets so far. They had the game versus the Centurions, a 4-2. That was a super close series in terms of, or super impressive win. Sorry, and then they also beat the Dragons, who beat the Galaxy, which was another upset, was it not? Not necessarily. Both teams were 10-8, but I think a lot of people had the Galaxy winning that series.
Mm-hmm.
So now tell me a little bit about the Wildcats here.
Well, the Wildcats are stacked, to say the least. If my spreadsheet would load, I can tell you a little bit more. I know Shocks is on this roster, and he's, I believe, made his debut as a All-Star this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. At least, if not, he was on the ballot. And out of the 18 games or series that Wildcats have played, he's played all 18. So he's definitely active, and I just dropped my mouse. A really key player for the Wildcats.
He was on the ballot, but he was not in the top 4, I believe. So that was, I remember there was a whole thing about it, and he was a little bit upset about it. But then they also have Canadian Lions, who I actually had the pleasure of playing with last season, and he played very well last season, and he's continuing that right over. Like I said, last time they played, I believe I said this on stream, Shocks has 228 goal shots in the regular season, and Canadian Lions have 250. They are the 2 highest in independent league, and they are on the same team.
Sorry, I'm kind of laughing myself a little bit. When I was dropping my mouse, I closed out of all my tabs, including the camera tab. So, go ahead, Revy. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Shocks had the 2 highest players in terms of shots total are on the Wildcats, and like I said for their last game against the Scorpions were unable to keep up in terms of shots on that. They were unable to keep up in terms of pressure, and I think that if the Admirals are unable to put aside some of this pressure, that they will not be able to create one of the biggest upsets in the finals.
Yeah, I'm not seeing an upset either, which is one of the reasons why I said I was going actually 4-0. I'm expecting a very large sweep today from the
Ooh, you
Wildcats.
said a 4-0. Well, I said a 4-2. I have a little bit of faith in the Admirals. Uh, I actually subbed up from Renegade to Independent earlier in the season, and I played the Admirals on the Grizzlies, and I did get the Grizzlies' first win in that game. But it was a super close series. It was a 3-2. Admirals had a lot of pressure. They played super well, and I already know that they've gotten a lot better as a team over the course of the season.
Yeah, I'll have to see that tonight if they prove that or not. And I'm trying to get to their previous matchups in the bracket because, as you mentioned, I know that the Admirals pulled off some really strong upsets, but I believe the Wildcats. Um, the spreadsheet right now is a little bit screwed up in the fact that Wildcats are placed fourth, but I believe they are actually placed first in their conference. So they are definitely not the underdogs in terms of the entirety of the playoff bracket. In fact, a lot of people thought they were going to win it. What do you have to say about that?
Sorry, blanked out for a second. That the fact that the Wildcats were predicted to win it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 100%. Yes, if the Wildcats were not predicted to win it, then it was probably either the Wolves or Scorpions.
Hmm.
That, or maybe even the Centurions for some people. But the Wildcats have just proven to be the better team at every single stage of every single game. They've proven that they can just continue to win and put on so many shots that it sort of just overwhelms their opponents.
Yeah, I can't say anything more because what you're saying is absolutely right. Um, I mean, the Wildcats, they have the All-Star ballot person. They have, three other really, longtime members of the community. At least two of them I know are very super active here, and they are a fan favorite to say the least. And the Admirals are coming in. Azuro was playing in AA last season for the Pythons. I'm hoping that he kind of stands out for the Admirals, but I do think in the end the ship is going to sink for them.
Yeah, so the Admirals have looked very well. Viz Python won season 12 last season in A, and he did so with Dev and oh Lord, Mickey. Yes, Mickey. He looked very well there, and he's looked very well here. But I can't say that they have much of a chance to take more than 2 games off of this series. Um, I gave them 2 games because I'm like, okay, so teams often will mess up and give at least one game, and there will be a game where Viz Python will just pop off, or Jonek will just pop off, or someone will just pop off, right? And
Mhm.
and I think that 2 games is fair, but I really don't see anything more than that. And
I don't even see a game, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. I just feel like, granted, with three players on a roster they've had for quite some time now, you're growing chemistry as, with those three players because that's your only
yeah,
option, unless you're using a sub up. But it's just like the lack of the ability to like switch things up and try different play styles and see what works best because you only have that one option. And the Wildcats were granted with that option of, being able to try things out. And would not be surprised if they were to switch around their rosters a little bit tonight, just to get everyone in there on the action and see what works best in early stages of the series.
okay, and with that, we are going to move it over to the casters. Soy and Cubics, how are you guys doing today?
I am good, thank you. Just waiting to be able to get into the lobby here. But Soy, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. I cannot wait. Grand finals of the Independent League. Oh, this is going to be fantastic.
This is going to be a pretty fun game. We'll see here, but this really is kind of one of those true David versus Goliath matchups here, and we'll see if the David Admirals can come out on top. As mentioned before, they are the 4 seed in the Fire Conference, taking down the Centurions in 6 games, the Dragons in 7, making it here today as the huge underdogs, going 9-9 in the regular season even. But they did win 5 of their last 6 games to make it into these playoffs. So they did have a bit of momentum coming in and definitely continue to have that. Things have started here, though. About 10 seconds in, not a whole lot of possession here, a lot of midfield play. for both teams as of right now. And some
good bump attempt there by I believe that was Canadian Lions was there on the air dribble and then decided, no, if there's only one defender there, I can go for the bump, try and get him out of the way. But smart play by the defender, recognizing it and getting out of the way, still being able to make the save.
A good play here from Sorry, I am having some issues with the stream on my end.
No worries. It looks like possession here, mostly in favor of the Wildcats. And, one of the stories that the desk really covered was that the Wildcats offense was one to be feared, specifically Sharks and Canadian Lions. The two of them, as I believe they mentioned, led in shots in this league. And so really the defense of the Admirals is going to be the story of this series. And so with that in mind, I believe, it's going to be up to players like Azuro specifically and Jonek, I believe is how you pronounce his name, to really step up on the offensive side when they get possession, because it feels like the Wildcats are going to have a lot of shots on goal.
Definitely, and we heard the last time that the Wildcats played, if I remember correctly, that Lions and Sharks were first and third in the entire league in goals combined here, and seems like everything is finally fixed on my end and we can get back to normality here. But 2 minutes gone by and no goals yet so far, but it seems a lot more even than I would have thought. And here we go, Python with the first goal here to give the Admirals, surprisingly, the 1-0 lead.
And that's just two good touches by Viz Python, right? Beats him up the wall and then is able to flip off the wall, beat the second defender, and the third man back, Beer Bear, is just not ready for it at all. And just like that, the Admirals strike first in game one.
A great play by the Admirals, and definitely something that they needed here in terms of possession and momentum to gain from that, and definitely lots to be gained from an early goal against the best team in the independent league when you're that underdog team, and currently proving everybody wrong. Shocks with the shot and a great save coming across from Python there. And some possession here for the Admirals as well. Python trying to center it, but it is cleared nicely by Bear. Azuro touches this one up to Jonek, who sends it in the back of the net. Not sure what happened in goal here, but Lions seems to be caught flat-footed.
Yeah, Canadian Lions is just, you're absolutely right, caught flat-footed. He thinks that his man up in the air is going to get a challenge on that, and he's going to sweep underneath that ball and get the offense going the other way, but instead, already up for it were the Admirals, and just like that, David looks pretty strong against Goliath right now.
Definitely, and I don't think that 4-0 prediction will be true, especially if the Admirals keep playing like this. And a good 50 there to keep it out of harm's way for now. Azuro ends up back passing to Jonek up to Azuro, but he can't get on a shot. Shocks misses his touch. Lions is able to clear it out, but not super far, and the pressure is not off yet. Bear using the Mantis here, and Lions using the Takumi that he used in the semifinal matchup as well. But hey, if you're comfortable in the car, use it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I believe the Mantis gives you that plank hitbox, that extra little space as Jonek can't get underneath the defender. That was surely a goal, the defender out of position. But regardless, the score stands at 2-0, and the Wildcats, they got to get something going right now because they are out of time.
Yeah, not a whole lot of offense, surprisingly, coming from the Wildcats here. You'd expect a little bit more. Oh, Lions kind of saves his own shot there. Unfortunate for them, and a bit of a surprising first game. But just like the last series, we did see a pretty decent win by the Zebras, and then the next 4 games all went to the Samurais in order for them to win that Maverick Championship. Could we see the same thing here?
It's entirely possible, and the way this game is going, though, the Admirals have just kind of shut down the midline. A handful of chances for the Wildcats themselves, but the way things are going, you look at the quality of opportunities, and the Admirals have absolutely had the quality right now.
And with 3 seconds left, game 1 will go to the Admirals in surprising yet seemingly the better team here. What happened there for the Wildcats?
Well, I think it goes back to kind of what I was saying before in terms of that quality versus quantity. You think back to the chances that the Admirals had, and it was really off of, challenges and misplays. The Wildcats definitely, if you look at the shot totals, the Wildcats had their opportunities. They had 8 shots on goal, and the Admirals, they were there on the goal line to make those saves, but at the end of the day, the Wildcats defense kind of let them down.
The quality of chances as well coming in from the Admirals seemed to be higher in that game, and we'll see if the Wildcats can create some more decent scoring opportunities in this one as we head into game 2 with an Admirals 1-0 series lead here in the Independent League Finals of Season 13 of RLPC. The kickoff is down, and the action is on. A demo attempt coming out from the Admirals does not connect in the net, and no shot will connect either. Lions beats him on the play. Bear just puts it wide. Shocks there for the cleanup, and Wildcats 16 seconds into this second game get their first goal of the finals.
The quick strike counterattack, the first play there, I believe it was Canadian Lions, sends that one across, and Beer Bear's shot forces 2 to go from the Admirals because they think that one's on net. Turns out it's not, and then the speed of the third man, Shocks, to punch that one home, gives the Wildcats, as you said, their first goal of the series, and a big one at that.
Definitely a big momentum shifter here, and we'll see if the Wildcats can continue that trend here with a possible second one, but a great save by Zero to keep that one out of the back of the net. Bear looking to center it here, trying to send it down to a teammate. Lions is not quite in position for a touch on that one. Shocks looking for the shot, but it's a long clear into the back of the net, and Python will retaliate with one of his own here. Tie game.
That all comes off the challenge at midfield. I missed on who the names were there that go up for it, but the pinch goes straight up into the air, and Viz Python is just the fastest one to it, and he's able to, get to the ball first, and no man back again for the Wildcats.
A tie game here, and some momentum going the way of the Admirals here. Looking for a second shot, a little bit of a miscommunication there. Does not allow a shot on net, and a great walk by Bear opens up a good offensive opportunity, but a better bump by Jonik on Lions there, opening up some space for the Admirals offense, but Lions is able to get that 50 into the corner. Shocks trying to keep some possession, a little bit of a miscommunication there. A couple of misplays, and an open net is saved by Shocks. My goodness, what a save to keep the ball out of the Wildcats net. My goodness, what a play.
Shocks with the diving effort to keep his team alive here in game 2, because look at all the pressure that the Admirals have right now. Only 3 shots on goal, but it's still more than the Wildcats have accumulated this game, and all basically in the past 30 seconds. Just what an effort play, and there's still plenty of time left, but this game is going back and forth.
I didn't think that I would say that the Admirals kind of look at this point like the team that went 15-3 in the regular season, but it certainly seems that way right now with the amount of offensive pressure they have over the Wildcats. Even though they might not be converting, they are definitely getting it and keeping the Wildcats in a situation where they are not dangerous. As a 50 comes out, Shocks is up for the shot. He puts it wide and off the ground. pop coming up here from Azuro. What a touch from him, looking for another, but Bear is there. Would have been a very nice little touch and go from him if he was able to get onto that, but he cannot. Bear is beaten by Python to the 50. Lions trying to clear it out. Bear is there. Lions looking for possibly a pass or a bump, but Jonah is there with the flick. But the possession will be lost for the time being by the Wildcats, and it's back into their defensive end here. A center comes out, but it's a good block by Shocks to keep it out again. His second important save of this game, and it seems like the defense here for the Wildcats holding tough this time instead of letting in a couple of goals, as almost a very fortunate bounce goes in for the Wildcats.
Yeah, a lot of positioning is that's a tough play to make. Azuro's backwards, has to make the flick there to make that stop, and Jodik can't clear the ball either. It's an open net if he can put it on, but he cannot do so. And now you're seeing the pressure that this Wildcats offense has brought all season that got them to that #1 seed, but they still cannot capitalize here with a minute remaining.
We'll see if they can here in this final minute, but a power clear coming out from Bear, trying to create an opportunity, playing it a little bit slow, getting the flick, but he's beat to that ball. Lions beats his man to the ball, but it is a fairly easy save for Python. Jonik with the pop out off the backboard. It's right off the crossbar. Nobody can get on it. Sharks misses his touch, and this one is in the net, and the Admirals take the lead with 35 seconds to go.
And Canadian Lions thought he had the clear, but I don't know if he had boost or not to make that play. Ends up going under the ball and whiffing inside his own goalie box, and that is a death sentence in that scenario. And just like that, the Admirals, with 30 seconds left, have the 1-goal lead.
Not something I thought I would say 2 games in a row, that the Admirals have a lead here, but they really have been playing as the better team in this one. They're looking for a center here, can't quite get it, and what an underdog story we would see if the Admirals were to win this championship, and right now they are going to take game 2, pretty much sealing it with that one. It is 3-1 now with just 10 seconds left on the clock. They have been dominating the offense so far, 10 shots to the Wildcats 4 in this game, and just not looking great so far for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and again, I think this comes back, especially shown in this game, the defensive positioning of the Wildcats. You saw that, for a long time they were kind of at a stalemate, right? It felt like it was back and forth, a couple of shots here or there, but right at the end of the game, when the Wildcats felt like they had pressure, they were all in on the offense, and then save after save came through for the Admirals, and they were able to catch the third man of the Wildcats out of position in that last minute and a half. And just like that, the Admirals are 2-0 in grand finals against a team that was, so highly praised throughout the regular season.
Coming into this game, we heard Poulter say a 4-0 sweep in favor of the Wildcats. They have not been living up to that, and Revy predicted a 4-2 Wildcats, still very possible, and we might be a 1-1 situation here for our analysts tonight as we head in to Game 3 in a situation I did not think I would find myself in. Admiral leads 2-0.
Yeah, and this makes me think of if you are an NFL fan, about 2 years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles, when they won the Super Bowl over the Patriots, they were a #1 seed, but no one, thought they were really that good. Everyone thought they were too young, and they used that kind of underdog fuel as a fire. They wore these dog masks saying, oh, everyone thinks we're an underdog. And I feel like that's what's happening with the Admirals right now. They're saying, you think we're the underdog? No. We're the favorite in this one. Let me show you why. Viz Python capitalizing only, 6 seconds into the game? 16?
6 seconds. Admirals back on the board really quickly here. Great for their momentum. It is kept into this game, and we are seeing just a different side to this Admirals squad. There's a reason they made it to this finals, and we are seeing that right now. Shocks with a absolutely beautiful shot. Oh my goodness. Was this a pre-flip or what?
Yeah, no, that was a thing of beauty, and I think it was a pre-flip because you see him, flip into the ball, and that all comes off the mistouch by Viz Python, and then the placement, right? Just crossbar and down. There's nothing you can do about that as a defender.
Shocks almost getting another one there. That would have been his second in a matter of mere seconds here, but that has to feel good for the Wildcats being able to tie this game up here. And after playing a couple of close series to get to this point, being beaten here in the first two games by a team that went 9-9 cannot feel fantastic. And the momentum definitely with the Admirals. But after that goal, have to be feeling a little bit better about yourselves and your chances in this one. And so far, what do the Wildcats really need to change about their game style in order to actually pull this one out?
Well, the Wildcats were getting burned by defensive positioning, especially, off of the second man being either too late to the ball or not winning a challenge, the third man not being ready. The third man of this Wildcats team, he has to be back farther. The Wildcats, they're an offensive team. They want to press forward. They want to, just pile on shot after shot after shot. But the way this Admirals defense is playing, they're playing patient, they're playing smart, they're letting the ball come to them if the Wildcats are forcing it. The Wildcats aren't going to be able to, sustain that much or that kind of pressure. So you have to be patient, just like the Admirals. You have to, have the third man back ready for any scenario. You got to be able to defend the net and not just read whatever you think is going to happen.
Good clear coming out from Azuro here. Some more possession possibly from the Admirals, but he can't get another touch. He runs out of boost there. But yeah, the Wildcats doing a better job of keeping possession, and Shocks grabs his second goal here on a misplay seemingly from the Admirals. More a lucky 50 here for Shocks, but some good placement on that 50 as well.
Yeah, and that, again, all comes off the mistouch from Viz Python on defense. He gets that ball right on his nose, rolls it forward, and then he realizes, oh, I've punched it too far, and just tries to get back in front of it, and ends up being, the perfect pinch for Shocks to give the Wildcats the 2-1 lead.
Azuro with the great 50, a save by Bear, another opportunity. This one hits crossbar. Jonik is there to do the cleanup duty, and about halfway through this game, it's 2-2, tied right back up by the Admirals.
And the Admirals offense picks up right where the Wildcats left off. The beautiful 50-50, as you mentioned, by Azuro. And then Python with the smart play to go for the air dribble up to that top crossbar. Let it, fly through the air, see if it will drop down or not, see if someone gets a hit on it. And it ends up falling right to the lap of Jonik for an easy goal. And with that, 2 minutes remaining, it's back to a tied game.
Exactly what the Admirals wanted to see here, I think. They need to keep up the pressure, and they finally got it back with that goal. And just intense pressure for just those few seconds just allowed them to get that goal. And definitely what they needed, get back on the board and get that confidence back as well after giving up 2 straight to Shocks, the man himself. So with that momentum, we'll see what they can do here in this last 100 seconds. This one is cleared out into the corner here for the Wildcats. A good clear out mid. Jonik with the touch. This one is just barely off, but Python reads him well. And just under a minute and a half left here. The Admirals are in the lead in Game 3. Could go up 3-0 in this series.
A beautiful play by Jonik. He uses a lot of his boost to go up and get that thing, and then to make the defender respect the fact that it's going to be possibly on net. He's not sure because he's behind the play, so he has to go up in the air for it, and then it ends up falling right to the lap of I believe it was Viz Python, punching that one home. And Now the Wildcats have to do what they have not been able to do all series, score in the last minute to tie this game.
Going to be a tall task, especially when Python can do that. It is 4-2, 2-goal lead with just under a minute left. A huge goal coming in here from Viz Python.
And Canadian Lions here on this play, he just gets caught staring at the ball on the goal line. It's so easy when you're in ball cam to just kind of watch it and think, okay, I can let this ball come off the backboard, roll out right to me. But you have to remember, the offense is already going to be up for those. You have to be quicker than that. And just like that, now it's a 2-goal lead with 40 seconds.
Exactly what the Admirals wanted here. Azuro able to clear it back out, and with 30 seconds left, we are seeing a Columbus Blue Jackets style miracle here, defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple of years ago, 4-0 in a sweep when the Lightning won over 50 games in that regular season. Definitely the underdog, being able to barely squeak into that playoff series. But instead of the first round, we're seeing it here in the finals. The Admirals are going to win Game 3 and go up 3-0 in the series. That is huge for the Admirals.
I mean, this was, not knowing these teams very well coming in, knowing that the Wildcats are a very offensive team, you would think, okay, the Admirals are going to be pressed back in their own back third for the majority of this game. But somehow the Admirals just have maintained this offensive pressure against a team that you would think would have all the offensive pressure. I mean, compare the shot totals, right? What is that? 10-4 in shots in favor of the Admirals, and the quality of chances, the Wildcats' chances, all came off awkward defensive touches and 50-50s, whereas the Admirals, they just caught everyone overextending, and it feels like all of the momentum right now is on that light blue Admiral team.
100%. I am almost lost for words. This series has just been so hard in the Admirals' favor. Not exactly sure how it got there, but my goodness, have they played outstanding Rocket League today. Another thing to note here is that the Wildcats won the season series over the Admirals 3-1 as well. So they do have a good history against this team, but currently being shut out in games here. 3-0 heading into Game 4. Are we going to see a finals sweep from a league that has produced some very close playoff matches coming into this? Both teams playing 13 playoff games, a 6 and a 7 game series each, as we take the kickoff here in game.
I'm also at a loss for words at this point, because you would think the 9-9 team, running into the Goliath that we keep mentioning is the Wildcats, would struggle, and yet it feels like they're just taking it to them. Punch for punch, the Admirals have been able to answer every question you'd have coming into this game. Canadian Lions, a nice chance there, but Jonah is in place, able to make the save.
A poorly placed shot there from Lions as well. Ended up shooting it right at the defender, possibly not due to his own unluck. A good chance here as Zero only is able to pop it up. Jonah playing smart, going back to defense. Realizes he can get the first touch and sends it over to Azuro, who is ready and waiting for that pass. A great team play so far. Nobody is on the end of that, as that one will just roll across the face of the net. A wasted opportunity there. Off the corner boards, Shocks pops it up over the net. Azuro looking for the save and clear. He will get one of those, but not the other just yet. Azuro finally able to get that clear. Cuts across really nicely. Oh my goodness, what a play from Azuro. And that is 1-0 lead for the Admirals. Can they sweep this finals?
Azuro just juked the entire Wildcat defense. Everyone thought they had him, and just one little touch after the other on the dribble is all they needed. And just like that, the Admirals take the lead early in the series again. I believe that's the third game in a row that they were, scoring inside the first half of the set.
The Admirals with so much offensive pressure and prowess in these games and just able to convert seemingly at will so far. Azuro with the beautiful shot, and that's 2 highlight reel goals for Azuro.
Viz Python sets him up, and Azuro just takes the corner boost and goes, oh, there's a ball here. Let me go up and just tap this one home. And no one on the Wildcats was ready for the back post placement of the shot. And just like that, with 3 minutes to go, the air has been sucked out of the Lions until this chance right here. But Canadian Lions is there to clean up the play.
Oh, luckily for them that Lions was there, to be honest. If that shot was saved, there would have been absolutely no hope for the Wildcats in this one. But the Admirals getting the ideal start here, and they are doing it. They are winning this game and are looking to sweep Goliath here in the finals. Still up by 1, but there are 3 minutes left on this clock, and some good momentum here being built for the Wildcats. A shot goes wide, and the Wildcats have not been able to capitalize on a bunch of great opportunities here. A great save from Azuro, keeping it out. The Admirals are throwing everything they have at this game, trying to clear it out in 4, and another save from Azuro. He's doing everything. A shot coming on from Python, but it is saved. A drop pass will not quite go in. Bear trying to get something going here for the Wildcats, but it's back into their defensive end. A shot coming in, and another goal from Viz Python. A 2-goal lead for the Admirals. And this game is looking heavily in the favor of the Admirals.
Now that goal sucked the air out of this game for the Wildcats. You could tell that's a sucker punch to the gut in this fist fight, and it feels like now it's only a 2-goal lead and still plenty of time left, but you feel like the chances now, the Wildcats are throwing everything, the kitchen sink, just anything, trying to see if they can get something to stick to this wall into the goal, but they can't even clear their own zone properly, and Beer has to make a goal line save, and Azuro already up for it. Doesn't get a great amount of power on that shot, unfortunately, but the Wildcats, they need something. They need momentum, and just the chemistry. I have to praise the chemistry of the Admirals, because it feels like a lot of these plays are set up because they know where each other are. They're playing reactive, and they just are, think of all the passing plays you see out of the Admirals as opposed to the Wildcats, where the passing plays are just off, or, things like right here where there's no one for Canadian Lions to really pass that ball to.
Shocks with a miss there as well. Lions will grab possession, and the Admirals also playing with so much confidence and so much speed on top of that. With 1 minute left until the Admirals may or may not claim their championship victory here in absolutely shocking fashion. And the momentum needs to be there from the Wildcats for them to come back in this series at this point. It is 3-1. They need 2 goals here in just a matter of 33 seconds. So far, 30 seconds rings out across the stadium. A clear comes out, a great touch, and this one is in the corner. One more goal surely would seal it for the Admirals here. Lions takes it into the corner. Beer sends it there as well. He cannot get a shot off. Lions is beat. The Admirals will score another goal, and with 7 seconds left, the Admirals will sweep the Wildcats and claim the Independent League victory.
Game, set, and match, and all because the pressure the Admirals applied. Past 30 seconds of the full minute they had remaining, and the Wildcats could not even manage a single shot on goal. All of that pressure applied by the Admirals allows them to be your champions.
The Admirals proving all the naysayers wrong. And with that 4-0 sweep over the 15-3 Wildcats, the 9-9 Admirals have swiftly defeated David with just one stone in between the four eyes. And with that, the Admirals are your independent league champions. With that, we thank you all for tuning into this amazing broadcast here on RLPC. We hope you enjoyed this independent league finals. And with that, from both Soy and I and the rest of the RLPC media team, we wish you a good night.